Welcome back, beautiful people. Today's episode, we are going to dive into focus. Focus, focus, focus. Because where your focus goes, your energy flows. We started bridging this topic when we were talking to Felicia last episode, and talking about where your focus goes, energy flows. And so it became very obvious that that's where the energy was flowing. Welcome back to another episode of Joy, the Journey of You podcast. We're your hosts, Devin and Chris, and we're here for joy.
This podcast is your permission slip to reconnect to your inherent joy and to embrace it.
Let's fill up the cosmic joy pot together as we dive in to today's episode. So welcome back. Hope you're all doing well and you're living your joyous lives. And if not, lean into this episode because this is going to help you focus and find out where you're actually focusing. Because I bet where you think you're focusing is likely not where you're actually focusing. It can happen quite often. But truth be told is that when we have our focus and when you're truly focused on what's true for you, when you're focused on your heart, you can create your heart's desires with ease. Like when our focus is on our hearts, one, we know what's true for us, and two, we know how to get there. It just becomes obvious, and our intuition is guiding us, and the universe is supporting us to be able to attain those visions and dreams. And we're using the laws of the universe to support us, and we're not alone in it. But it really has to be that true aligned with your heart desire, so that it's an authentic, integrous energy that the universe picks up on and then just starts supporting us. So we'll dive deeper into that. But the alternative is, Chris is going to talk a little bit about that when we aren't in our heart's focus, what that kind of looks like.
Yeah, so there's two things when we're not in a heart's focus, so when we're in our egoic focus and we're pushing, and also when we are in our heart's focus, but we're not, like, we're being distracted, we're letting our ego take our focus away and dispersing our attention, we're dispersing the energy, and then like it flows everywhere, our attention, our focus flows everywhere, and so we're creating nothing really, right? And everything we're trying to create feels hard and we feel stuck, and it's just really like pushing, and it can feel like a struggle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
please share.
I have direct experience with that because before beginning to work with focus consciously, that's exactly how I was assuming how you got shit done, right? Like that
So
it was
true.
this mentality of that, like, focus was this focus on, like, I got to try harder, I got to work harder, I got to focus more, and it was this very like pressurized vibe
Mm.
of like, right? So everything felt hard. Everything felt like I should be doing more. And it just felt like a chore. And so then it's like, well, I don't want to do that. Nobody likes feeling that way. And so that's where you can let your dreams go. But for me in the past, it was like I was always assuming I wasn't focusing hard enough and I needed to give more energy into focusing. But all of those things I was focusing on back then were very mentally driven into what my egoic mind thought I needed to be doing. And then
Mm.
ultimately, the things that I was creating and things that we're doing, they just didn't land well with people, or I never actually created them because they weren't true. Like it was actually a battle to make them come to life or to bring my energy to them. And it was just tough. Like right now, I'm just like, oh, it's so stiff. It feels so icky. No, thank you. No more of that, please. That was the old way, right? And then when I started learning about what true conscious focus is, and it's that which is aligned with my heart, oh, it just became so much easier. And I wasn't concerning myself with anything other than just what's true for me. And if it's true for me, that's what I need to be focusing on. And so then, for example, our podcast, right, is that I remember when we were first getting the inkling to have a podcast, I had my book going and I had my business thing going and I had trying to get new clients and all these things, to where egoically, if I didn't follow that truth, egoically, I would have been like, I don't have the time right now. It seems too much, right? But it was very true for us to start recording a podcast. And so I just followed that truth. And every single time, it's like so easy. Like the time that we have had to create this podcast and every episode is like mind blowingly easy. The support that has come in and the ease of launching this podcast is just incredible and like so surprising. But that is exactly speaking to the things that are the way that I'm orienting to things now. The things that are true for me is when I take those steps to lean into them, it just starts rolling and then the universe comes in and supports me. And that's where that ease of flow comes in because my focus is going where it truly is meant to be going. And so I
Mm,
don't even have to force or try. It just happens.
mm.
It's not to say that again, I'm not having to consciously use my focus. Like I have to consciously choose to show up and do a call with you, right? Is it's not like, oh yeah, just like it'll happen. It's not this flippant. There's still a focus, but it's a different conscious focus than it is like in that really like hyper mental focus. It's
I was
more of
just
a
gonna say it's
soul
not
spirit focus. Yeah.
exactly, it's not that concentrating on getting a task finished and hyper focusing on working or whatever, but it's
Hmm.
like that's when you have your focus on an egoic goal, right? When it comes from your mind, from your lack, from all these beliefs that we have of not good enough, when you focus on something like that, then that's what you create more of, right? And then that's where the energy flows, right? Because that's what you focused on.
Yep. Yep.
Whereas when you show up for your heart's desires, when you tune into those, then what Devin just said is like you gain momentum, right? And the energy from the universe flows through you, flows through your actions that you take, and it's like this massive support. And then you just take on momentum and you go faster and faster, and you don't even notice, right?
Yeah.
And I love that about our podcast as well. It's like
We're like,
every
we don't even
time
notice. So suddenly we're up to episode 15 and here we are.
it's
We're
like
rolling.
crazy. What? And it's just so much fun every time to record. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the other thing I wanted to share is just to give that visual of when we look at the sun, right? That it's a bright energy, it's an intense energy, but it goes everywhere. Yet when you take a magnifying glass and you use that to bundle, to focus the sun's light, then you can create a fire in no time, right? Exactly. And then
Hmm.
and that's the kind of focus that we're talking about, and you get to choose what you focus on, if it's your heart's desires or if it's your egoic needs, right? And something that I learned about focus just very recently in this past week, I want to say, is I've been super resistant about niching down my coaching because I feel the technique that we use and we coach with is so universal. It is independent of age, of circumstance, of finances, of anything. So, like, we can help anybody and everybody in any life situation, right? And how do I choose, like you need my help more than you do, right? And so I was like, and I think I even shared that in the interview when you interviewed me here in the one episode. I don't remember
Yeah.
which one it was, but I said like I'm not niching. I hate niching. I hate excluding people, right? But now I joined this group called the Synthesizers on the school app, which I can totally recommend if you're a content creator. Um, and it just became very obvious for me to niche down because I can only serve a certain amount of people. And I can serve this group of people especially well if I become the expert on their problems, right? Because what I learn from one, I can use with the other. And obviously we use intuition and we use our techniques, but still like the knowledge base that I have around that certain niche, which I choose to be job transition. So if somebody is like in that void of not having one job anymore or not feeling that that job is aligned anymore and they're in that void not knowing how to navigate, I can help
Hmm.
them connect to their hearts. And that just feels like such a powerful niche now, and I'm so excited, right? And before I was like, I can't niche down, I can't do that. And now this focus is so intense and it's gaining so much momentum, right? And that's when you dare to focus and when you really dare to choose according to what your heart says.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what's your experience with niching down?
Yeah, no, I've actually been in my creating my business and honing down. I definitely have had a journey with niching because I was very similar that I didn't want to exclude anyone because truth be told
Mm,
is I can help anyone. I mean, I work with
mm.
not only humans of
Oh
all
my God,
genders
yes.
and backgrounds. I work with animals. I work with, right? Like I can literally help anyone. And I have a special skill set and based off my life experience to be helping women who are really struggling with being their true self and embodying themselves. And so very recently, I had to get real with myself of niching down and claiming that. And it was really tough because I didn't want to exclude other people. And I love helping people, but what I'm finding out as the more that I embrace that is the more the more clear my marketing gets, the more clear I'm talking to that very woman, and
Mm,
then she shows up, right? A
mm,
reflection of that shows up. And it's funny, just as in last week, I've been really sitting with my I help statement, right? So
mm,
it's like, who do I help? And
mm.
for the longest time, it's like I wouldn't claim that. I wouldn't really
Yeah,
put that in
same.
there. And I had played with this phrase on my Instagram a couple months ago that I recently got a reflection back to me that from a client who was basically my ideal client who came and worked with me for some healing. And she said, you know, what really hooked me in was the phrase you had put up on your Instagram. And it
Mm.
was, I help women bring their hocus pocus into focus.
My God, I love
Right.
that.
And so just this last week, I realized because I was just playing with phrases and I was like, that really is what I do. And so I'm bringing that into my statement. I really honed in just this last week, actually,
Mm,
on what that is. Um, is because, yeah, I can help anyone, but I do have special skills as a pelvic health therapist and with trauma rehab and all the things that I do
mm,
that there's a need for it really. There's a lot of women out there that need to bring their hocus pocus into focus and realize that they can embody themselves and live in delight and live in their joy.
mm,
That your magicalness, your hocus pocus is real. And as much as I can help anyone with that, I think that women in particular need more support in that. And so
mm,
the more that I grab that, even as I say that right now, I'm like, yeah, like it has a oomph to it.
mm.
Whereas before it's like, oh, that's cool, but it has a diffuse of energy, kind
Yeah.
of like that metaphor of the
Mm,
sun. Like
mm,
again, as the sun, as the light being I am, I can serve everybody. But if I
mm,
hone in on focus, that's where we light fires under people. We spark people to life, right? And that's
mm.
everything that I'm about is sparking people to life. So,
Yes.
but it's a
Yeah.
journey to realize when you don't niche and you're resisting niching, how
Mm,
you're not optimizing your energy and not optimizing that support that you could have. And
mm. Yeah, and I
I've
really
only
feel,
experienced that through the
sorry.
trial and error and realizing what it's like when you don't. And then the more
Mm,
that I do, and we talk about it even real time right now, I'm like, oh yeah, I can feel
yeah.
that. I can feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's really also about claiming that focus, right? Claiming that, yes, I have that knowledge because I myself was also in this job transition phase. And for me, it just took this tiny little tweak to change my, oh my God, I have to leave my job to, wow, this is a win-win-win-win-win situation, right? Win. So
Yeah.
obvious. And it was a tiny tweak. It was not a life change. I didn't have to quit or anything. And that just it's really about claiming that and choosing that focus, and that's all it takes. It's not hard work, it's just making that choice, and that's the kind of focus we're talking about.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
now I would love to lead you listeners into a little experiment where
Let's
you
do it.
tune where you tune into um yeah, what you would love to create. So just from the top of your mind, just tune in. What do you want to create? Maybe it's that 10K month that you want to reach. Maybe it's a new partner you would love to attract. Maybe it's a new house, whatever comes on top of your mind immediately. What's your dream? What do you want
Yeah,
to?
and be specific on like just like if you just let your mind decide in this moment, what would your mind say that is?
Exactly. And once you have that, you recognize that, just keep that. You
Mhm.
know your dreams. And then I want to invite you to tune in to a different level. And now I think this would be better if you're not driving to be safe about this. And I think for me personally, it works best when I close my eyes. So definitely no driving, no machines.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I would love to lead you through a little meditation that guides you into your heart focus and to
Mhm.
see what different kind of energy comes through there. So I invite you to just close your eyes and take a deep breath and imagine this beam of light that connects you to the sun's energy, to the stars, that just flows through you, this divine light, and it flows through you to the center of the earth. And you're becoming this beam of light, this light beam. And you just allow your energy to flow with your in breath and your out breath. And release all you no longer need to the center of the earth. And then begin to breathe. As you breathe in, imagine you're not breathing through your lungs, but you're actually breathing through your heart. And with every in breath, you widen and expand your heart. And as you breathe out, the heart stays large and it expands, it keeps expanding. And as you feel your heart space widening, you can imagine a circle around you that is now filled with your vibrant heart energy and the light of who you truly are. And now, in this space that is filled with your vibrant heart energy, ask your heart, what would you truly love? What would keep you expanded like this? What would light you up? If you had one wish, heart, what would that be? What would you love for me to create, to be, to do, to see, to experience? What would that be? And just allow it to be whatever comes through. Let anything be possible. Allow it all. And then ask your heart if it has any other further information for you about this. Anything else it wants to share. And once you have received that, you can imagine embracing your heart and just really thanking it for this information, for
Mhm.
speaking to you as it did,
Mhm.
and thank this circle and keep your heart space expanded like this. Radiate out
Mhm.
into the world like this. Be that tower
Mhm.
of light, that column of light, and shine into the world like that because this is who
Mhm.
you truly are.
And really allowing yourself to register this sensation right now and noticing what the biggest difference is. Like allow yourself to really embed and imprint within yourself of this is what it's like to go to my heart to attune to what I would love and just really notice this difference. Yeah, just appreciate that. It's distinct, isn't it? It's distinct. There's a totally different vibration here. For me, the energy softens and I'm just connected and receptive and it's a genuine connection with my heart and everything chills out. Everything
Mhm.
chills out.
Everything calms down, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. And then just so I invite you to just basically register within yourself what the biggest difference for you is that when you approach what you would love to be doing and creating in your life from your heart versus that difference of when you're coming at it from your head.
Mm.
And just notice that and like really register, write this down, capture it for yourself and somewhere like lock it in of like the biggest difference for me is. So for myself, mine is this, it's a different frequency that things slow down and drop and everything chills out versus when I'm in my head, everything is running really quickly and it's very tense.
Mm.
That's how I experience it.
Yeah, and for me, it's like in my head, I have a very strict image or expectation of what it should be, right? And when I stepped into the heart circle, it was simply joy, follow your joy, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And whereas in the um demo circle and in the demo circle in the ego circle, it can be anything, right? It can be I need that house. I really need that house to make me happy. I need that new car, whatever it is. But um it's something like that need, whereas in your heart circle, it can be anything. It can be a car, it can be a house, it can be a spouse. Oh, that rhymes.
Okay, Dr.
But
Seuss.
but it can be anything, right? Like I just got joy.
Yeah.
And that is really also a very good guide. Like if you follow your joy, you're following your heart.
Yep.
That's where the energy flows.
Yep. And imagine that it was same for me. My heart literally said as I want to share and experience joy with the world.
There you go. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Who would have thought?
And it's very much of this it's a way of being. It's a in my heart, it's a way of having that intention to show up in the world of that my intention is to share and experience joy with the world. Whereas in my head, it's a lot of doership of needing to get things
Exactly.
done and like what's the next thing on the list? And you can blow past enjoying and sharing the joy of life with people, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you get so much done.
Yeah, right. And it that's that distorted focus.
Mm,
So our invitation here, my friends, is to follow your heart. Intend it, right? Is that if nothing else right now, from this moment forward, is just set the intention that you would like to move out of your heart more. You'd like to be living your life out of your heart more or connecting with your heart more and just make an intention in how you'd love to move forward with your heart from here.
mm. And it's as easy as simply saying, I choose to follow my heart.
Mhm.
Is
Yep.
that right? That's how you set the focus. That's how you say that is my GPS. That's my goal. That's where I'm going. I choose. That's it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah, we invite you to just enjoy the unfolding of that. Like what happens when you say, I choose to follow my heart from now on, and
Mhm.
see the synchronicities that unfold because of it. Because to me, the synchronicities are really like breadcrumbs from the universe that say you're on the right path.
Mhm.
Hänsel and Gretel. Like this is leading you home. And
Mhm.
so yeah, we would love, I love hearing about synchronicities. And if you would love to share those in the comments, please do.
Mhm.
And also we still have that what's it called? Not lottery, but thing going on where if you leave a review, take a screenshot of that and send it to us by email, and then you will be put into the pot of joy, not the cosmic one, but the one for the greatness readings. And yeah, we will draw one.
Yeah. We'd love to be doing more of those greatness readings if it calls out to you, if it's of your
It's true
heart.
for you.
So tune into that. And
It's true for you.
but regardless, there's so much juice in today's episode. So really be with this and intend this. This is a big consciousness shift if you're willing, if you're really, really willing to lean into this one, this can really change your life and things can unfold. So lean into it and enjoy, my friends. Lean into it
Mhm.
and enjoy. So, from our hearts to yours,
See you next time.
see you next time. Here's more joy out in the world.